The body cam footage of Donna Adelson getting apprehended at the Miami International Airport was finally released, and it gave us a little glimpse into how that went down and even more of her personality. And brace yourselves for spoiler alert, she's entitled. Y'all, we're going to talk about all that and a little bit more in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's back there. Roscoe the mascot's on it. My name is Paul. I'm right here in front of it. Now, like I said, today we're going to be looking at a few clips of that body cam footage that was taken of Donna Adelson being arrested at the Miami International Airport. And yeah, we got to see even more of her personality and what it was like in those moments. And she is giving Donna Adelson just what you would expect. And so we're going to talk about that. Now, this was on Law and Crime. You should go watch the entire thing in full length. I think it's like 20 some minutes. I've just taken a few clips out to speak to them about parts that stuck out to me, but it is interesting watching the whole thing because you're just like, oh, whoa. I'm really surprised they released this, to be honest. This is just one of those nuggets that just keeps giving. So that being said, let's do a very quick overview of what the case is and how we arrived at this video in case you haven't been following it. So Donna Adelson, like I said, 73 years old. She's apprehended at the Miami International Airport. Now, she had booked a ticket with her husband, one-way ticket to Vietnam, like a week or so after her son Charlie Adelson was found guilty of the Big M in regards to Dan Markel, who was his brother-in-law. This was his sister's husband. This has been years long that this has gone on, this case, and hitmen have been arrested. Charlie's former girlfriend was arrested, and Charlie all been found guilty, and now Donna. So what has taken place is, basically what it is. He gets, thrown in jail, going to prison the rest of his life. It's pretty clear the writing's on the wall, so her and her husband are like, we gotta go. They line up tickets. She makes a phone call to Charlie, to prison or jail, whatever it was he was in at the time, essentially outlining this plan. It's very obvious her and her husband are planning to flee. Well, I mean, they're at the airport when the police apprehend her. And so that's what you're dealing with. They almost made it. They almost made it. But they didn't, thank God, because hopefully justice can be served and continue to be served for Dan. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into those clips and just, talk about them or whatever. Now, keep in mind, first of all, I ain't no expert, no body language expert, no cop, nothing fancy, nothing credentialed. Okay. I'm just Paul with a sofa and a dog and some opinions on true crime. So that's it. Also, if you want to follow Roscoe and I on the Instagram, it's right here in this little corner, or maybe this one. I don't know, wherever they put it. But the link's in the description, so go on, give it a follow. Now, let's go ahead and get to that first clip, and this is when the cops first come, and they are like, bam, are you so-and-so? You're getting arrested.
Can you stop?
Yeah. Hi, how are you? You have an ID? Mr. Adelson? Recognize me? Yeah. You're under arrest for your cell phone. No, I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to?
Because my attorney says not to.
Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. Evidence. Ma'am, do me a favor.
She's under arrest. I have to go with. I have to go. I have to do a break. Let me help you also. No, I have to stay. Please don't do this.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with my mouth wide open like that because when she is like, nope, and takes the phone from them, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Now, Grant, I will give them this. She's just getting arrested. These people have money. They do whatever they want to, including taking out their son-in-law or their son-in-law, brother-in-law, whatever, however he is related to each person. So, but just that right there where it was like, nope, I'm going to do this. And right there, you're like, oh, she's going to have a real hard time adjusting to jail. Okay, it ain't going to be no easy ride for her. Now, also, listen to the husband, because one thing that's interesting is how they immediately go into this whole, they play off of each other very well. And we're going to get ready to hear him essentially like trying to play off of her of like, oh yeah, I can't be left alone, type thing. And listen, overall, they are pretty decent to the cops. I would have expected way more backlash toward the cops from them, but you'll see how they talk. So let's keep that in mind. Let's move on to that next clip.
Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
can't.
me?
Please, can I go? No, you can't join me there. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh.
Begging and Pleading. Now, again, here's my thing during these times is I'm just thinking of Dan and his family. And I'm like, did he get this? Did he get to plead for his life? I don't think so, right? Now, also when she was like, my husband's 73 or whatever she says, and he's like, oh, yeah, I mean, I can't, and then he goes into, and as well as she, please don't do this. Please don't do this. As if the cops woke up that morning and decided on their own to go do this. Because here's the thing, at this point, the cops are just doing their job, right? I mean, they're just doing their job. It's not up to them to say, you know what, Jimmy, should we just let him go? Oh, just go on. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the thing that kind of just blows my mind. But again, they have to be in shock, right? I mean, they were this close to getting on the airplane and fleeing the country. So let's move on to that next clip.
I just got to help them get home. This is terrible. You can't do this. This is insane.
I mean, y'all, the whole thing, like, this is insane. She acts like she has no clue, right? Like, this is insane. Like, what do you think? Like, you know what you did. Allegedly at this point. So to act like this is insane, why are we even getting arrested? For jaywalking tickets. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think it's about? And again, she knows all this evidence is out there. I mean, they're making these phone calls to jail and she's telling, oh, we're doing this. We put money here for the kids. Your sister's not calling now that she got her way. I mean, it's tawdry.
No,
Does she have a necklace on? You
What I got?
can take
Right.
it off.
Take it off. Yeah.
And the earrings.
And the earrings, the rings, take everything. You give it to your husband. Because once you arrive at County Yale, they're going to make you remove all that.
Now, here's the thing, y'all. So, to me, the cops are being very nice. I mean, you hear them, take your jewelry, give it to your husband. They're helping her out because it is like, look, I'm sure her jewelry's not cheap, number one. Number two, she's going to get to jail and they're going to take all this stuff from her. And, so they're being very nice and cordial with them, right? I mean, remember, they're in the airport, okay? I'll talk about something that happened at the airport when I was there over Christmas. And because when I'm watching this and seeing how people are in the background watching, I was like, this doesn't even, my experience doesn't even compare to that. I can't imagine running into this at the airport. But again, I thought the cops were very professional and were very nice and, letting her do a few things and kiss her husband goodbye and all this kind of stuff before they took her away.
can I call my attorney?
You can.
You have a passport ready?
Where am I going?
Open your finger.
Where am I going?
You're going to the Dade County jail.
Dade County Yale. No, it's right here.
So you hear, can I call my attorney? Where am I going? Dade County Jail. And I was like, girl, I feel bad for you. That's going to be rough, right? But I mean, you do the crime, that's what happens, right? Her husband's in there doing the jewelry, doing this. It's so surreal to see this moment, seeing all that we've seen with the trials and whatnot, and just how, I've seen the court footage of her first, if you remember, if you've watched it, where she's in there and, the judge is like either calling off stuff and she's just like, ugh. The allegations from the state and whatnot against her. I mean, just incredulous. But again, they're shocked right now, so they haven't had time to collect themselves. I'll guarantee if they were more collected, they would have been way more vile towards the police, though.
You take it right through this.
Yeah, we'll go back out and just.
You're making a mistake.
Okay,
It's not a mistake. It's two mistakes.
And try to take the release. If we can get this off from you.
You're making a mistake, two mistakes. Like, these personal cops have been on the case, investigating it since years back, right? It's like, dude, they're just transporting her. This is transport. You know what I'm saying? This is transport, honey. You can say what you need to say, but again, that desperation is what sticks out, because again, I'm like, I wonder if Dan felt this way in his final moments. Or in the moments of them making his life absolutely miserable. I just go back to these text messages that the mother was sending of all the manipulative things they could do to him to try and get their way. Now, let's look at, I'm going to silence it, but let's look at some footage of her walking through the airport after the arrest. Again, this part right here is what gets me, because I am thinking right now, I would have 100% been like, you just go ahead and put a paper bag over my head and leave me out of here. And they have to walk so far through the airport doing this. I mean, people are just stopped and looking and whatnot, and you're like, oh my God. And now that these people probably know what happen and they can go back. They're like, I saw Donna Adelson getting arrested. Are you kidding me? So she walks to the airport. They get her to the car to transport. Let's look at a little clip again in silence. We'll talk about it. So she's sitting here. She's just hanging out. She is full of regret right now. She is thinking, why didn't we leave a day earlier? Why didn't I do this? I mean, her mind has to be going, but I doubt she's thinking, why did we do this to Dan? She's probably thinking, this guy's made our life a living, you know what? Okay, now let's look at a clip here of her with a special request.
I'm going to check you first, okay?
You know that Donna was like, oh my God, now they'll go on to frisk her and check her bra and all this. That had to be, especially for her, just so like humiliating and eye-opening of this is your new life. Whether it'll be the rest of your life, I don't know, but this is your new life for now. Like, now after they check her and do all that, they get to what's really going on. What she want? She wants some wine.
What are you doing? Just get air conditioner on the spot. Wow, that is great.
Now, at one point, I'm like, girl, I feel you. She's asking for air conditioning. I'm just like, yeah, that's not how it's going to work. Now, the deputy will say, you're about to be freezing in jail when you get there. So basically enjoy it while you can. But yeah, now on one hand, I don't want to be hot either. I understand it. But it's just, they're being so nice with her. Now, let's watch even how much nicer they can get. I mean, she's like a little baby. I mean, she's like a little gerbil. That's what I was going. You know what I mean? But I mean, you see how nice the cop's being, right? I mean, he's hand feeding her or whatever, her water. So they're being very fair, very nice. And again, for the most part, she is not being horrible to them. Now, she will begin to question him about a warrant. Like, did I have a warrant? Because they'll say, she's like, why are we sitting here so long? Can we get going? You can see she's sweating. Miss Miami, for God's sake, she's in the back of a car. With no AC, okay? So there's that. Windows are open, as you can tell. But, she'll question him about the warrant and whatnot. And he's like, well, look, this is how this goes. And, this is what we're doing. Then we'll be going. And she's like, wouldn't they tell us if they had a warrant? Now, what they're not getting at is, ma'am, we just arrested you at the airport. Okay? Of course they're... What do you think she would have done if she knew she had a warrant? She was already trying to flee the country. I mean, this is the worst thing you can do when your name's involved in some mess like this, is try to flee, but then get caught, okay? And then talk about it to your son beforehand on the jailhouse phone call. It's just all sorts of broken, all sorts of no. Again, we're kind of awaiting to see how this moves through, what they do. She's very much, or at least the last that I saw, wanting her lawyer to push this through, go, go, go. I'm imagining that she is going to come from the stance of, I am not guilty, I am innocent. Y'all have made a mistake. Same thing that Charlie did, because the evidence will show, like on the phone calls and stuff, they're bamboozled that he was found guilty. In the face of all that evidence, this just shows you how disconnected they are. Absolutely floored that he was found guilty. They think it's rigged. They think everybody was in on it. The jury already decided this and that and the other. So you can only imagine. Now, you heard her husband's 80 years old. She's 73. And you're going through this at this point. But guess what? Stupid games win stupid prizes, right? And this stupid game was taking the life of Dan instead of just being decent people and figuring something out with this messy divorce and custody battle, and getting all involved in their lives. So it's very unfortunate at the end of the day, Dan's gone and 2 children are without a father, so there's that. So anyways, again, go to Law and Crime, watch the whole video, see what you think, because there's more water drinking and stuff like that. But I felt like the cops were fair in this and they were nice. And again, the shock of it and whatnot. I mean, nobody's expecting to get arrested, right? Especially them. They thought they were home free. They're probably talking about, yeah, we're stopping in Dubai. I'm going to get my Louis over in Dubai. And then the cops come up talking about, yeah, you Donna. And she had to have just melted right then and there. I know I would have. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I know this is a shorter video today, but I just want to talk to this because I saw it and was like, oh my gosh, we've got to do this. We've got to drink us from the cup-a-thon, all this right here, y'all. So that's it. Let me know what you think. And Roscoe has already left because he ate his dinner. He was thirsty. He's been in and out of the videos lately. Okay, he just comes and goes. He does what he wants. I gotta talk to his manager. He's gotten a little highfalutin for the sofa, if you ask me. But he does request to drop some sofas down in the comment section for us to hang out on while we talk. And until we do go down there and hang out on those sofas and talk, we'll see y'all soon.